Hello there, and happy International Women's Day. I was looking at some research done by PwC, I think, that had researched the job losses through the pandemic. And when you look at it, you realize that 78% of the jobs that have been lost have been women. When you look a little deeper, you realize with an intersectional lens that many of those jobs lost by women are lost by black and brown women. When people say that pandemics impact everybody the same, they don't. It's important to note this because there are still people out there who would suggest to you that gender pay gaps are an illusion, who would suggest to you that the prospects and the equality of opportunity for women in the workplace are identical, and none of this is real or true. There's still an awful lot of work to do to ensure gender equity. A shame of this International Women's Day is that Richard Herring is no longer doing his Twitter job that he normally does, a comedian who looks around the Twitterverse for all the people saying, "When's it International Men's Day?" There is one. It can seem sometimes, because we look around and we can see prominent individuals who happen to be women, who have achieved a measure of success, and perhaps a measure of success beyond our individual capability as men. It can seem like the problem's solved. We do the same thing for black and brown people as well. We look around and we say, well, there's a black person who's done well. And we imagine because that individual person has done well, people of a similar identity must be slacking, undeserving, not hardworking. I would just encourage you on this International Women's Day to think about how we can each better contribute to an equality of opportunity, and not because we want to be nice to women, but because we want an economy that thrives, and that only happens when brilliant brains get to perform, when they get opportunities to shine. And it is too often the case right now where women find themselves without that opportunity for no other reason other than their womanness. I have been so profoundly impacted by amazing women in my life, and if you've heard me talk ever, you've heard me talk about my mother. And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about her and think about the impact she's had on my life. There isn't a day that goes by when I'll go back to Stockport and somebody random will come up to me and they will say to me, "You're Dr. Amaechi's son." And I am so proud. I am so proud when that happens. Because yes, I am. But how amazing is it that years after her passing, people still have her as a marker in their mind, as a profound memory, as an emotion. And what a shame it is that we still live in a world, and a working world, where women find themselves unable to make that kind of impact, the impact we know they can make, because of their gender. The world is not a meritocracy yet. But on this International Women's Day, what will you do to make it more so?